Sid the Kid brings the show on the road to Edmonton. No Stu, that's cool. Brett will play against his old team tonight, at least. We get you set for the owners of the Penguins right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying warm as we get you set for the Oil and the Pittsburgh Penguins' second and final meeting this season between these two clubs. Right here, GCL Diesel. Of course, proud partners of the pre- and post-game show and providers of the best diesel electric components around, from turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical electric component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. We want to hear from you. Text us on the text line, 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat if you're watching over on YouTube. The 25-18-8 Oilers take it on the 24-14-11 Pittsburgh Penguins. You got Tommy, you got Benny, you got Cass, and you're also going to get Haley Hunter tonight, Penguins reporter and host from Sportsnet Pittsburgh. She will join us about 6:30-ish. Had a chance to catch up with her earlier on in the day. Great stuff from Haley as we welcome in Benny. Look at you with that Angels haircut, or the Angels hat. Did you get a fresh haircut too? Oh, you need a haircut.
No. My hair's still going. I'm trying to pace it so I have my birthday on the 31st, and then I go for Arizona middle of February. I'm trying to
yes.
So I don't like how long it is right now, but I'm trying to wait it out so that I get the cut before my birthday, and it's still good in Arizona. So yeah, it's too much thinking on my part, but whatever.
That's all good. Sometimes just do, don't think. Just do, don't think. I like how Sheldon XS in the nasty chat's like, no, Stu, that's cool. Did Tommy write that himself? Yeah, really quickly. I'm glad somebody caught on with that, because it was a Kulak pun. Maybe not a great one. Gene would probably get that a D-, but we are here. We got through the intro and we're ready to rock. Cass will be hopping on right away as well. Benny, are you excited that the Pens are in town to take on the Oilers? Could be one of the last times we see Sid the Kid here.
A little bit of a bummer that Stu's not starting, but in terms of Sid, yeah, 100%. I mean, like, this has been a guy, from my generation, like, this was I know so many Penguins fans my age because of Sidney Crosby. Like, just because of how big he was, and obviously still is, but just one of the best players of all time, and seems like a great guy off the ice. I'm excited to see what he does in Edmonton. I feel like the Oilers have gotten to him pretty good in the past couple of matchups, but yeah, to me, anytime watching Sid go up against the new best player in the league and McDavid, it's always a good game. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
Really quickly, if I had gone no Stu, that's cool. At least Brett is playing against his old team.
Yes.
Would that have been better?
Yes, that would have been like something I hear in a rap song or something. Yeah, good.
I can't spit flow. Look at me.
Yeah. You don't.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. The only flow with me is this hair.
Yep.
Thank you.
There you go.
CJ in Chicago. First of all, hello. Looking forward to minus 40 temps with wind chill in Chicago. If I die in the next 24 hours, at least let it be after an Oilers win. CJ, bundle up layers. I know that wind is like bone chilling through the lake effect and all that. So be safe, be warm. Use your Alberta winter savvy to get you through this in Chicago. Okay, let's get to some lineups for everyone, and we'll get to the question of the night, and I see Cass is just about ready to go. So for the Oilers, 11-7 again. They do have McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Roslovic was Howard and Savoy. Lazar and Majapane with Janmark. And then Podkolzin and Frederick, consider them the extra wing pairing. On defense, Echo with Bouchard, Nurse with Everson. Wallman with Stasny, Regula as your extra D-man. Nobody outside of Draisaitl, but I have him on the injured part of the lineup when we get to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy part of the show and the lineup. So they're using all the players at their disposal, essentially. As for the Penguins, Sidney Crosby between Rickard Rakell and Brian Rust. This is how they played last night in Calgary last night. at the Saddle Dome, 4-1 win there. Tommy Novak between Igor Chinnikov and Evgeny Malkin. Ben Kindle between Anthony Mantha and Justin Brazeau. Blake Lizotte centering Connor Dewar and Noel Achari. Parker Witherspoon with Brett Kulak. Ryan Shea with Jack St. Ivany. And then Eric Carlson has been activated. Ryan Graves has been put on IR. Connor Clifton is another option on defense. So we'll see how that roster on defense looks for the Pens tonight. Some juggling there for Dan Muse and his blue line. We anticipate Kevin Hayes or Ilya Solovyov. Maybe one or two of them gets in if they want some fresh legs. We shall see during warm-up. But we do know this. Your starting goalies for tonight, 30-year-old Tristan Jarry, 13-4-2 on the year, 261 GAA, 908 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 20 games this season. Jarry, lifetime versus the Pens, 1-0, 401 GAA, 867 save percentage in that lone appearance versus his old team back on, what was it, December 18th? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And then at the other end of the rink, 24-year-old Arturs Shilovs, 8-6-8 with a 305 GAA, 892 save percentage. 1 shutout in 22 games this season. Shilovs versus the Oil over the course of his career. Let's get a double check that. I had the wrong stats in there, but Shilovs so far in his career against the Oil, 1 game played in regulation in the regular season. 0-0-0, zeros across the board, has not allowed a goal, 1,000 save percentage. So that was in limited duty versus Edmonton. So this is his first start against Edmonton in his career. That takes us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. Leon Draisaitl not playing tonight, personal family illness, of course. Kasperi Kapanen, undisclosed. We assume it's lower body. He was skating today. I had some video of it. I posted on X, looking like it's promising, and maybe this weekend. Adam Henrique remains on LTIR, undisclosed. As for the Penguins, Chris Letang, day-to-day upper body. Tanner Howe, IR knee. Eric Carlson has been activated, and Ryan Graves has been placed on IR, while Caleb Jones remains on IR lower body. Philip Hallander, IR leg. All right, Betty Thomson, let's bring in Cass and let's get that question of the night.
So I understand that this is leading into game changers as well. So I'm going to try to steer it away from Cass
Thank you.
A little bit, but it's still
game 52.
It's still around this topic. With the bring up of Spencer Stastny being in Edmonton, this is going into the thumbnail. The Kulak versus Stastny. Stastny's been a replacement. I'm just going to keep it simple. Has Stastny been a surprise for you in terms of a replacement for Brett Kulak? Let us know.
Yeah. Hello, Cass. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I will let you answer the question of the night first.
Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised by the way he's played so far. He's been improving. He's been getting a little bit better, which is a good thing. But no, not surprised yet, and we'll unpack it more in Game Changers.
Lovely. Is it a surprise that he has replaced Brett Kulak? That's the question of the night, Betty?
Yes. Or has Spencer Stastny been a surprise for you in his replacement to Brett Kulak?
For me, yes, because I didn't really know anything about him. Just heard he skated well. Hadn't played a ton in the National Hockey League, and was wondering why they would go out and get a guy that was kind of in and out of the lineup with the Nashville Predators. But so far, watching him in person, watching him on broadcast when the team's away, I like his skill set. Now, Matthias Ekholm, when I asked him about the new guys in their time here in Edmonton since the trades that occurred, he even said Stastny kind of reminds him of Brett Kulak a little bit. So I think that's a huge thumbs up for Spencer Stastny to be getting that kind of recognition from a defenseman like Matthias Ekholm. I do still think there's some development that needs to occur, because there was that game a couple of weeks ago. Remember, they bumped him up to the second pair on his offside, and it wasn't a great game for Stastny. I'm not going to pin anything on him, really. I think there's one goal where he kind of tried to boot the puck up the wall that it came back the other way, and Winnipeg scored. But a pleasant surprise so far, and I think the arrow is going up with him, and I think he'll be okay. I think they've found a good piece that potentially could grow into a solid blue liner on this team for a few years going forward. So no complaints. How about that?
Pretty good.
Have your say. Text us your thoughts on Spencer Stastny. Has he surprised you? Is he a 100% Kulak replacement? We want to know what you think of Spencer Stastny thus far as we get to Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He is community driven, and he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. So check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass, number one, tendies, not chicken.
Not chicken, although we do love those chicken tendies, those chicken nuggies. They are delicious. Could be a battle of the tendies today, fellas. And I know people were maybe a little excited to see Stuart Skinner before he played in Calgary last night. Now maybe a little disappointed that they aren't going to be able to boo Stuart Skinner or yell at him or see a mistake or whatever it is that's going to give them the wiggles. With Stuart Skinner sitting on the bench, although I'm sure they will still find a way for some of them. Now, I think it's actually an intelligent move on the part of the Pittsburgh Penguins, because they're trying to remove any and all bulletin board material. Like, Edmonton fans saw the quote, about Stuart Skinner speaking about his time in Edmonton and the pressure and the people and all the whatever. And you're welcome to think whatever you want of that. But Pittsburgh probably went, that's fan material and bulletin board material. Does he have to play in Edmonton? No, he doesn't. It's back-to-back. He's been playing really well. Let's play him against Calgary and go with Shelovs against Edmonton. So I'm not shocked by it. Now, Shelovs has been playing very well as well. Similar to Stuart Skinner recently, he's had some pretty good numbers. Now, not season as a whole, but recently they're decent. Now, Pittsburgh is out of nowhere started to play like a defensive team. Really a little bit shocking in some ways. Like they've managed to do this. And it could be one of those nights where the difference comes down to goaltending, because the Pittsburgh Penguins playing pretty good 5-on-5, not giving up a lot of opportunities against themselves. Edmonton, yes, they didn't have a great game. They only played 20 minutes against the New Jersey Devils, but they have been finding ways to produce offense and doing a fairly good job. Even in that New Jersey game where they didn't play great, they still did a decent job of not giving up too much in that game in their own end. So you have two teams that are playing quite well the last little stretch of games defensively, goaltenders that are feeling pretty good. It's a recipe, Tommy, for an old-fashioned goalie showdown here against the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Edmonton Oilers.
It's interesting with Jari, you guys, because Chris Knobloch was asked about starting him in back-to-back games, and because he's coming off that injury and he missed some time and all that. It's totally understandable that would be something that's asked. I think a lot of fans asked that too, thinking that maybe Ingram would get the start. But what Knobloch ended up saying was, hey, we have a day off tomorrow. So tomorrow, Friday, they're not going to be doing anything. So time for Jari to rest his body. And I think there's an element of wanting to test him out. And then the fact that they had a day between games and his last start where he played pretty damn good also explains it. And listen, I think as good as Ingram has been, I think the hope is that Jari takes over as the number one or becomes I think that's the thought is Jari's your number one and then Connor Ingram is your 1B. and like a damn good one if he continues to play this way and all that, reestablish himself the way he played a couple of years ago with the Coyotes and a bit with Utah. So I think this is a good situation. I don't blame him. I'm not surprised Jari's starting, to be quite honest with you. And you could give Ingram the weekend if you want. So that's a little bit of the insight into why Jari started tonight. And like Cass said, we could see some good goaltending tonight like we did on Tuesday. All right, let's drive over to point number 2, trades. Cass, and you put in parentheses, Kulak, blue collar plumbing away.
Plumbing away. Yeah, trades and trades. Kulak's putting in some time here on the top pairing for the Pittsburgh Penguins and has been playing fantastic. And it's not altogether shocking that the Pittsburgh Penguins defensive situation stabilized with him there. Now, I know there was times this season Kulak, he struggled a little bit. He wasn't quite the Kulak that we have seen the last couple of years. However, he is a player that when he's playing at his best is incredibly effective defensively and can be very, very good. We've seen him be the best Edmonton Oilers defenseman and seen it in high intensity games in the playoffs. When the games get big, Kulak plays better. And this is certainly going to be a big one. You know, the shock of the trade is over, but I'm sure the energy is going to be peaking and high for him tonight. And, to go more, and Benny, like with your question of the night here with Stastny, I'm not surprised because I knew that Stastny wasn't going to be Kulak. Mm-hmm. Like that, you needed to bring a guy in. He's not a Kulak replacement yet. Now there's that potential there, and I think recently we've started to see some more of that with how well he skates and what he does. To reference Ekholm's comment, it's like, well, it's kind of a little bit like he is a little bit like Kulak sometimes out there, not quite all the way yet, but a good opportunity for him to continue to go and to show what he's worth. But for the Edmonton Oilers, hey, you're going up against a guy that's gone up against you in practice multiple times, is going to know your tendencies, is going to know how you like to play, where you like to shoot from, positioning on the ice, and he's playing a lot of minutes, and he's playing very, very well for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So not a guy you're going to necessarily look to expose here, but an interesting tidbit to this game is we, at least the media, are going to be watching Brett Kulak potentially playing on that right side, and then Stastny potentially playing on that right side, one in the first pair, one in the third pair. Now, it's not fair, I think, to Stastny to compare the two because they're not the same, and they're not going to be the same. And it wasn't really a replacement. You weren't going to replace Brett Kulak, and it's going to be interesting to me down the stretch to see how Stastny continues to develop and what his skill set actually looks like as we see him in more games. Because I still, guys, the hardest part of that trade for me wasn't the goalies, wasn't the draft pick, but was Brett Kulak going. And I know you needed to make the money work. Yeah. But as we've seen in Pittsburgh right now, he can be an effective player, and he's going to try to show it against the Edmonton Oilers tonight.
It's funny. That reminds me too, Cass, when that trade happened, it was like the day before that game where Pittsburgh, I think, changed their mind and got a hold of the Oilers, or the Oilers, somebody flipped, they changed their mind. And when I was talking to someone from Pittsburgh, he just said the Oilers totally caved. They totally caved on that one. So, or folded was the term that he used. So I found that very interesting. That's just a reminder from that trade last month. All right. That was point number 2. Odd game changers. It was trades. Kulak, blue collar plumbing away. And I totally messed up that pun in the intro, and that's my bad. I'm thinking about it more. I'm actually dwelling on it now, and I'm disappointed in myself. But we'll get past it here as we roll on Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunty Real Estate. Point 1, Teddy's. Point 2, trades. Kulak, blue collar plumbing away. Point 3, Cass, T-Pain.
Yep. Benny, do you even know who T-Pain is?
Oh, the king of autotune. Come on. the originator.
Okay, there you go. Okay, well, you know what? You're still a baby, so I didn't.
I know.
It's like there's access to music, but I still.
He's in my realm of music, so that's why I know him. But
yeah. He's in the realm. But you actually absolutely nailed this one. Where I wanted to go with the T-Pain is the auto tune at home here for the Edmonton Oilers. And for those of you that may not be as musically inclined or may not listen to as much music or maybe unfamiliar with the term auto tune, that is when someone generally singing off key gets pulled back to singing on key. Now, usually it's through a computer. We don't need the Edmonton Oilers to run things through a computer today. However, a little bit of a hiccup against the New Jersey Devils, and we need that auto-tune to pull them back onto key here. We have seen them now. Is it 10 times or is it just 9? I can't even remember. Is it 9? Yeah. It feels like every single time they games lose 1 or 2 games. But they still can't get that elusive third win. I'm hoping that wake up in the third period was enough to keep that juice, jam, jump, drive, whatever it is, into the game tonight, and that they got the auto-tune going, much like T-Pain, that they just get pulled right back into that lane. An opportunity with this homestand here, still against these Eastern teams, to put some points away, to milk those playoff points. As Dustin Nielsen likes to say, just give it a little milky, and just pull it back in, guys. It was a sidestep for a couple periods where they were just completely non-existent, not playing well. Let's hope that third carries over and that they just got pulled back into tune for this game against the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight.
All right. 780-218-9999. Tom, Cass, and Ben with you as we get you set for the Oilers and the Penguins. I'm going to read a couple of texts. Vincenzo says, good evening, boys. I feel a 5-1 win coming on for the Oil tonight. Cass, we didn't get to this one. Stupid Peter asked it the other night. We answered it. So I'm curious what your thoughts on this is. The Oilers are playing game number 52. Stupid Peter says, what game does McDavid hit 100 points? He needs 15 points. I believe the Oilers have 7 games until the Olympic break. Will he do it before then? I'm just directing it to you because we already answered this one, but what do you think?
Oh, that's 7 games left. That's a lot of points and not very many games, but it is Connor McDavid. Let's say he does it game 7, right? Last game.
The last one.
Gets their last one. Yeah.
It's Calgary, in Calgary.
Yep.
I had him at this, I think the San Jose or Minnesota game. Like he did get it in 6. And then Benny said either Toronto or Calgary. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, either one. He's doing it before the Olympic break. I think we all agree on that, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well said. Cass, fantastic stuff as always. Maybe one more thing. How many more times do we see Sit the Kid here in Edmonton?
Well, it's going to be a couple. If they stay with you play every team from a schedule standpoint long term. Mm-hmm. How many more times? 2? No, 3. 3 or 4?
3.
4. I'm going 4.
And I didn't ask you this, and I should have, and my mistake before we wind this down. But Erik Karlsson has been activated. Ryan Graves has been placed on IR. What kind of boost do you expect from Erik Karlsson?
Depends which version of Carl we get. Do we get the offensive powerhouse Erik Karlsson that still plays good defense and does take some chances, but knows how to clean it up? Or do we get the one that is maybe not feeling it offensively and struggles defensively? And Carl can be both, and he's evened out a little bit in his wizened old age, as it were. But it's not the same Erik Karlsson as when I played. He's slowed down a little bit. That being said, still a player that is extremely smart in the offensive zone, still picks some pretty good spots to jump in there, and still has a lot of skill to put the puck in the back of the net or to create plays. So, coming back from injury, you never really know, but he's still a superhuman freak physically and mentally. So, yeah, still a player you got to be aware of on the ice at all times when he's playing.
Back in the lineup tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins, activated off of IR. Cass, thank you as always, my friend. Look forward to catching up with you on the postgame show.
Sounds good, fellas.
All right, there is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting, Real Estate, Tendies, Trades, and T-Pain. on the docket for Cass tonight. You could text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat as well. You know what, Benny, before we go to Haley Hunter, let's do a game day odds check. What do you think?
I like it. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Let's go to the game day odds check, brought to you by our good friends over at Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta. It's safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta is redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. Your money line for tonight, Edmonton was at minus 169. Pitt at plus 144. That may have moved in the last few minutes. The over-under set at 6.5, minus 127 for the over, and the under set at minus 104. That is your game day odds check, brought to you by our good friends at presenting sponsor of VST, Play Alberta. Awesome. I like that.
I'm sending a wager right now.
I set a wager a little bit earlier, a small sprinkle, if you will.
Okay.
I think I put it on, what did I put it on?
I got it on Jay's play of the day, which is actually Reed's play of the day. Oilers money line, McDavid 1 assist or more, and then Hyman 3 shots.
Yeah, I think I put mine on the partner parlay from the lock shop.
Oh, gotcha.
I believe. I'm just double checking here. What did I put on it? So we have a few up there. There was the early bird bet, which was Oilers to win, money line, McDavid 2+ points, Crosby 1+ point. That was boosted to 241. Dusty's play of the day, McDavid 1+ power play point versus Pittsburgh, +1. Jay's play of the day, Oilers money line, Connor McDavid 1 assist, Hyman 3+ shots on goal, boosted to 185. I just have to log in to see the one, because I think I did the partner parlay. And there was a Grand Est parlay as well. And I'm just looking to because I didn't mind it, the one I placed. It was the lock shop partner parlay. Oilers and Stars both to win on the money line. Sabres at Habs over 5.5 goals. So let's take a look at what the score is in that game. There's some goals today in Carolina. Chicago and Carolina even up at 2. And then you've got 3-1 Buffalo leads Montreal. That's midway through the second. So good chance that
Bruins up 4-0 on Vegas.
Good for the Oilers. That's good for the Oilers. Yep. So we got, what do we have? 4 goals in Montreal, Buffalo. So just 2 more. I like the chances of that. Hopefully I didn't jinx it. Look at that. Buffalo just allowed a goal. Montreal made it 3-2. 7 minutes left. I like the chances now.
There you go.
Now we just need the Oilers to win as well as Dallas. So let's see what happens. And you said nothing Boston. Yep. Over Vegas midway through the second.
Some people in the NAS chat are saying Leon is skating right now.
Oh, wow.
In the warm-up stream. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
So they said Leon is back. So I guess we'll keep an eye on that. But he might be playing tonight, looks like. Maybe.
Oh, that would be a great boost. And I know there was some chatter about that the other day, but
Tony Barker confirms. Back in lineup.
He's in?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's a great revelation. We were told that he probably would be this weekend. So excellent stuff. That's good. Draisaitl back. We'll hit on that right away. But in the meantime, here is Haley Hunter from Sportsnet Pittsburgh, and my chat with her a little bit earlier in the afternoon. All right, welcome to the program, Haley Hunter from Sportsnet Pittsburgh. And listen, a lot of people are excited about this game tonight. Haley, rightly so. Is it going to be Sid's last time in Edmonton? Is it going to be Evgeny Malkin's last time in Edmonton? Is Stu going to play tonight? No, he's not going to play tonight. Will people give Brett Kulak an ovation? I think so. He's a very nice guy. And then you got Tristan Jarry going for the Oilers tonight. From your point of view and from a Pittsburgh point of view, how are we looking at this game?
Yeah, really exciting. As you mentioned, a lot of question marks. I mean, how many more meetings are we going to see between Crosby and McDavid? Good timing with them about to be teammates in a couple of weeks here for the Olympics as well. But with that, I think we were all kind of hoping for a Skinner-Jarry matchup once again. It's interesting because ever since Skinner came to Pittsburgh, 17 straight games, head coach Dan Muse has flopped between the two of them. So last night in Calgary was the first time he earned a second consecutive start. Some of us and our analysts were wondering if maybe he did that on purpose because maybe he didn't want him to have to face Edmonton again. I know he was a little disappointed with his performance in his first game as a Penguin against his old team. But with that, obviously they made the right call. They allowed just 1 goal for the 5th time in his last 7 starts last night. So we're loving Stu in Pittsburgh so far, and you guys will get Shelovs tonight. He's been playing pretty good as well.
What have you noticed about Stu Skinner, and what have you noticed about Brett Kulak, the players and the guys?
Gosh, such nice guys. You never really know what you're going to get when you got new guys joining the team, and they were just awesome people. Stu has stayed with media for 20 minutes after the last guy left the locker room to talk to them. I'm sure you're well aware of that. He probably did the same thing in Edmonton, but just a really nice guy. Got to meet his family at a coffee shop a couple days ago. They seem like really nice people as well, and they seem to be liking Pittsburgh so far. Just got a home a few days ago here. Brett Kulak, same thing. I guess those two are good buddies. They mentioned how much it meant to them to come as close friends to Pittsburgh. Really a top class guy as well. But with that, they've been making an impact so far. Kulak's been in the lineup pretty much every night. So good for him, right? And I think they've been good additions to the team so far.
3-0-2 in their last 5, 6-2-2 in the last 10. This Penguins team comes into this game second in the Metro. Like, what is clicking with them right now? Because maybe there were people that didn't give them the benefit of the doubt going into the season. Maybe they looked at them and said, hey, Sid's old, Malkin's old, Letang's old, Carlson's old. What's this team going to do? What's been the key to success from what you've seen?
It's really been fun to watch because over the last 3 years, our team has completely switched and basically flopped in half, with half the team being guys returning and half the team being new guys. So it's been a really pleasant surprise to see the way that they've come together. But even lately, without Chris Letang and Erik Karlsson in the lineup, the fact that this team is finding ways to win, I do think defensively under head coach Dan Muse and Mike Stothers really have tightened things up a little bit, which has obviously been huge. We really struggled defensively last season. But with that, a little more edge to our style of play as well. The last couple of years, we haven't really had any physicality. And I do think having some guys who are bringing more of that physicality, like Parker Wotherspoon from the Bruins, who's on our team this year, Connor Clifton, he's not afraid to throw his body around. I do think some of those players being added to the mix has kind of, I guess, sparked something in the team, given them a little bit more life. That's kind of helped them play with more urgency and find ways to win. Not to mention, as of late, a lot of depth offense. We all know that that's huge going into the postseason.
How about some of the young guys that have come in that maybe Oilers fans haven't even heard of yet? I know there's been a tiny bit of a youth injection. Who are we going to see tonight?
Yeah, we were just talking about this. I believe the Penguins have seen about 8 players under the age of 25 in the lineup so far this season. I'm sure you've heard about 18-year-old Ben Kindle.
Yes.
He's such a sweet boy, and you see him play and you forget he's 18 years old sometimes, because really, I mean, we were in high school at that time, right? But really impressive. He kind of reminds me of a little Penguins Jake Gensel, with just the way he sees the ice, the way he finds a way to get space and get open. He's been really fun to watch. He's actually living with Penguins assistant coach and former Penguin Nick Bonino and his family right now. A lot of kids in that family. So even though he's the youngest guy on the Penguins, he's the oldest over at the Bonino household. But with that, no, he's been great. He's been a huge addition to our power play as well. And then you have another young goaltender starting tonight in Archer Shelovs, who's been pretty steady as well. And a couple of those guys have made an impact. It's been really impressive to see an 18-year-old kind of just seamlessly fit into the NHL the way he has.
Such a sweet boy. Are you going up to him and pitching his cheeks? Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute.
You know what I mean when you meet him. He's just so humble and soft-spoken, and I just want the best for him.
I love that. Haley Hunter from Sportsnet Pittsburgh with us. Okay, they got that win yesterday at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, 4-1. You talked about Stu being good, the defensive structure. You talk about the edge. What were the keys last night in Calgary that you saw?
Yeah, the last time on January 10th when the Penguins played the Flames, they just, how heavy they are. I believe they're the 4th heaviest team in the league. It's hard to get pucks inside. But the Penguins did a really good job of finding different ways to generate off of the rush. A lot of times, especially with our third line of guys like Anthony Mantha and Justin Brazeau, they really like to go to the net and try to use their hands to shove one in. But you can't really do that when you've got some of those big Calgary Flame bodies. So we were able to get a lot of offense going off of the rush, a lot of really good low to high work, and just passing the puck around, really good puck movement that kind of confused their defensemen. So finding unique ways and different ways to generate offense was kind of the key to that game. And I mean, since the Christmas break, tied for the first in the league, I believe, with Tampa for the best defense in the league. I can't believe I'm saying that, right, with the way Penguins defended last season, but really good at boxing out and just really keeping things tight defensively right now.
More of the same tonight, or do you think the strategy changes against an Edmonton team that's missing a few pieces? Draisaitl, Kapanen are hurt. They're going 11-7. They barely play their seventh defenseman. It looks like, well, Jari's starting tonight, but do you think the strategy changes a little bit for McDavid and the Oilers?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. Tom, I think that the Penguins get very scared to play the Oilers. If you're going to pick, maybe two teams, it's probably the Oilers and maybe Tampa, because they're just so fast. I was recently talking actually with Rucker McGorty, who's down in the AHL, but has had significant time with us in the NHL. And he called one of our defensemen, Owen Pickering, was like, man, like, after he played against McDavid, he's just different. Like, you think that the speed is one thing at this level, but he's on a whole other level. So with that said, I just think the Penguins have struggled to keep up with his speed. We saw that last month in December. I do think that they're going to be better than they have been in the past, but I still expect Edmonton to get their offense going as usual. And I think the Penguins are going to have to get their offense going in order to match their offense and find a way to get 2 points tonight.
Okay, last question for you, and it's a bit of a lighter one. Like me, you love golf. You're very good at golf. You played golf in college. How's the golf game? How do you keep the swing, in prime form in the winters? Because it gets cold in Pitt too.
It's a good question. My whole life, playing college golf and competitively, I always was in the hitting bays. But there's really no time for hitting bays during hockey season because, as you know, you're just on the next flight every other day. So I kind of just take 4 to 5 months off from my game. Occasionally, I'll go to like 5-iron or Topgolf or something like that. But then in the summer, I'm like, 2 to 3 times a week at the golf course, at least playing 9 holes. So it's going great. Honestly, Pittsburgh golf is pretty incredible. A lot of good, nice public golf courses. But what I did not know, if you ever come and play golf here, is I love walking. And Pittsburgh is so hilly. So I kept making these tee times. I'm like, $15 to play 9, Twilight 9. And I go out there, it's a beautiful course. And then by the time you're done, you realize why, because the hills are literally. So it's been great. I love summer golf here, but you're getting your workout in. How about you? How's your handicap?
Awful. Thank you for asking. I think it's usually about at best like a 12. It's probably at like a 25 right now. Can't do much at the golf simulator either when you're drinking beers. So.
Oh, well, that always hurts.
Yeah, my clubs are right there, and I'm looking at them, and they're crying out to me.
Oh no. Okay, well maybe you got to get to the hitting bay and start doing some drills and stuff whenever you find.
I'll find a chance. We have so much.
Funny how cutting out the beer seems to lower the handicap too.
Sometimes it helps it, Haley, in the summer on a hot day. Okay, I'm just saying.
That's what they say. Okay.
I'm of the mind. Hey, this has been great. Have a great show tonight. Thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you so much. Go Pens.
There you go. There's Haley Hunter from Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Great golfer. I've known her for a few years, Benny, and actually recommended her to take my old job at Oilers TV.
Oh, really?
And she should have gotten it, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I think Tony was already on board.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other reporters they went through before they got to Paige. Paige is awesome, by the way. They've landed on a good duo. But this was prior to Paige, and they screwed that one up pretty bad. So she was with the Islanders. Now she's with the Pens, and she did some, I think, Golf Channel stuff. Great golfer, played like we saw and heard earlier there in college, and so didn't wind up here. They made a boo boo on that one. You got to listen to Tom every now and then, but. I think there was a little bit of resentment because the person who had taken over maybe didn't like my opinion and didn't need to hear it from me anymore. So, but my old boss and myself were like, boy, they really pooched that one. As you can see, she's lovely, bubbly, knows hockey very well. Great hockey lineage. Her dad played in the NHL, and great athlete and great broadcaster. So thank you to Haley Hunter for hopping on.
Wouldn't have enjoyed the golf here during the winter, but no, that's fine. Yeah, you hit the road enough to go out elsewhere.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you have sim golf here, which is excellent.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thank you to Haley Hunter from Sportsnet Pittsburgh. If you did catch it, Leon Draisaitl taking warm-ups. A pleasant surprise. We anticipated him being out. I was down at the rink, and it didn't sound like he was going to play. And we knew Kapanen would be out, but he's out there. And here are your new lines for tonight. So no 11-7. Hallelujah. I think a lot of people are happy about that. This kind of tilts the scales in the Oilers' favor in a big way. McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Roslovic with Podkolzin and Draisaitl down the middle. Frederick centering Howard and Savoy. Lazar between Mangiapane and Janmark. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Eberson. Wallman with Stasny. And, of course, like we discussed, Tristan Jarry in goal. Arturs Shilovs for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Benny, some thoughts?
Frederick being 3C is interesting. I understand that they kind of have to do this because Jack Roslovic is filling in for Kapanen in the top six. But I mean, I'm curious to see what Frederick does on a pretty highly skilled line in forwards and Howard Savoy. This is great to see that Draisaitl's back. Obviously, you hope he's okay. And I'd imagine he is if he's playing tonight. So good to see him back. Obviously, this team. To me, I don't think they lose that game against New Jersey. If they have him in the lineup, I think he's bearing one of those one-timers that's backdoor that I think Wallman or Podkolzin couldn't score on. Obviously, the power play, the effect he has on the power play just alone makes, when they're missing him, it's a good power play. It's solid. Obviously, you get the puck to McDavid and you let him do his work. But when you have Draisaitl there, it is borderline unstoppable when they're out there as a unit. So, obviously, great news that Leon Draisaitl's back, and like you were saying, I'd imagine this helps the Oilers' chances of winning this one drastically. He's a big part of this team.
All right, let us know your thoughts. 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. I'm looking for Penguins lines. I'm looking to see if any of our good buddies over with the Pens have those just yet. Maybe Josh Getzoff has them because he's in the booth tonight calling the game for Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Do not see any lines. Do you? I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen any. Yeah, I've been looking
Maybe
around.
Daily Face-Off. Take a look over there.
I took there too, and they
Nothing?
hadn't updated it. Still not updated. So
Still not updated. All right, so there you go. We do know that Draisaitl's back. That's a great surprise. Make a lot of people in oil country happy, and let's see how he slides back into the lineup. Has not missed a ton of time. What did he miss? 3 games?
yep.
Total 3 games. Yep. So we'll see. He should be A-OK. What do you think of that? Let us know how much that tilts the scales in the Oilers' favor. All right. Just some stats to throw your way as well as we head into this one. Edmonton has played very well against Pittsburgh. The Penguins, like we heard from Haley, are playing quite well lately. 6-2-2 in the last 10, 3-0-2 in the last 5. Coming off that 4-1 win at the Saddledome last night. Oilers, that 2-1 loss to the Devils on Tuesday. Edmonton, 12-7-4 at home. Pitt, pretty good on the road. 13-7-4, winners of 2 straight. The Oilers all-time versus the Penguins, 47-34-4 with 4 ties. Edmonton all-time at home against Pittsburgh, 28-13-2 with 1 tie. And then Edmonton has won 3 straight home games versus the Penguins and 8 of the last 9 total versus Pittsburgh. I do recall, I have a Pittsburgh Penguins Edmonton Oilers memory, if I may.
Okay.
Really quickly. It is my show, so I could do it. Yeah.
Not really, but whatever.
It is. I mean, you're a part of it and an integral one of it, but I've been doing this a really long time.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I'm just kidding. So it was like 1993-94, and my buddy Adam DeLulo, shout out to Dill, he lives out in Vancouver now, massive Penguins fan, huge Yager fan, and I was an Oiler fan, right, growing up here, and I was like, and we'd always play street hockey, Oilers versus Penguins. He would be Ken Raggett or Tom Brasso when he was in net. I was Bill Ranford or Fred Brathwaite or Joaquin Gage, whatever, nice. Right? And then you'd have to pick a player when you're out. He'd be like Yager or Lemieux, and I'm like, oh, I'm Doug Weight. Or Arnett or somebody like that, Anyway, so he's like, I'm going to the Oilers Penguins game. I was jealous. 8 years old, 9 years old. So I go to my dad, like, can we go to the Oilers Penguins game? And he got tickets for us. Wow. And it was Yager in his heyday. Lemieux did not play in that game. And I swear to God, the one thing I noticed about that game was Yager. I'm like, Yager's a puck hog. He did not pass the puck at all. And he had the curly flow, the big mullet with the bubble Jofa.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just a horse. And I swear to God, every time he was on the ice, he had the puck.
Yeah.
And I think Edmonton ended up winning that game like 5-3. Ken Reggett like smashed his stick over the crossbar. It was before Reggett got like a real mask. He wore like a Cooper helmet with a cage.
Oh, boy.
It was classic. Yeah, it was so good. And I remember it. The Coliseum still had the red seats. They hadn't renovated it yet. And it was such a good time. And I remember kind of giving Dill the gears that the Oilers had beaten the Penguins. The Penguins were really good. The Oilers were terrible for like 3-4 years during that span. So
it's
memory unlocked.
It's pretty similar to my friends too. Like I two of my best friends are like huge Penguins fans because they grew up and they idolize Sid. So it's been a lot of I've heard everything about the Penguins the past 10 years about how this guy is going to take over the NHL and this guy is going to be sitting next to the shotgun with Crosby and going to be a beast. Sometimes they landed, sometimes they were correct. Jake Gensel was one of them. They were big fans of Jared McCann. Yeah. They missed on Michael Bunting. One of my buddies was telling me he's the perfect Gensel replacement. He's going to put up 70 points. He was traded.
Bunting.
Yeah. He may have had a couple drinks in his system.
Okay.
But I always bust his balls about it. But it's pretty funny. They're both huge Penguins fans that convert to Oilers fans whenever Penguins.
Oh, how can be?
I know, crazy. Just whatever team's winning, they like. I'd say now it's probably 50-50 between them, but they still love Crosby for everything. And it's pretty funny. I was growing up with Penguins fans around me.
Okay, I think I found that game.
Oh, really?
Oh no, maybe I didn't. Oh shoot. Maybe it was 92 or 91. Let me see. But yeah, I'm trying to find it on the Benny, read some text. I want to find this game because I think the names that you're going to hear are so classic.
Okay. Here you go. Vincenzo says, mine when Crosby scored that sick OT win on Talbot. I also remember that one. He walked Ryan Strome out of the corner. I remember that one. That was ridiculous when the Pens were still, I believe that was right after their cup runs and they were still trying to push for another one, but they were kind of falling it. The age kind of regressed them and everything. And that's when the Capitals and those teams in the East kind of took over. So yeah, I remember that one. That is that one that is pretty funny. Stupid Peter is saying, sorry to know that we went through his text the last show about the McDavid thing. So I think it's gonna happen against Calgary. And then Coach Mike asks, are the Oilers a confident team or is it just player to player? I'd like to think that it's as a group they're pretty confident. To me, there's a couple guys that don't fit into that category as of right now. I still think Trent Frederick is not feeling great about himself right now. I imagine Andrew Mangiapane is still not feeling great about himself. But guys that the core guys, I think Ekholm had a rough start to this year. Boucher had a rough start to this year. I'll even say McDavid and Draisaitl had rough starts to this year. Their points were coming, but they did not look to the best we've seen them. That has obviously changed quite a bit since basically the start of December to now. They have a couple losses in there still, but to me, the overall group has looked pretty confident in my opinion. And I'd imagine as a group, they're looking pretty confident. A couple guys, though, I'm still working on it.
I found it.
Beauty. Let's hear it.
I found it. So it was March 27th, 1994 at Northlands Coliseum. You want to hear the scoring summary?
Let's hear it.
Oh, my God. This is the one.
Possession stats at that time, too? Or
I don't think so. He had it a lot. Okay, so... Kirk Maltby opened up the scoring at 8:22 of the first from Gordon Mark and Jason Arnott. In the second, Sean McEachern from Larry Murphy and Rick Tocchet would get it shorthanded to make it 1-1. Frederick Olason, his 9th of the season from Dean McCammett at 19:20 of the second, gave the Oilers the lead. Then the Oilers would pour it on with 3 unanswered. Brent Grieve, his 11th of the year from Mike Stapleton at 2:34. Then at 6:58, Doug Waite, his 24th of the season from Stephen Rice and Scott Pearson. Then it would be Scott Pearson on the power play, his 18th at 8:09 from Doug Waite, making it 5-1 Edmonton. And I believe that's when the stick of Ken Reggett got blown up over the crossbar. However, on the power play, not long after, Joe Mullen would get his 37th at 9:51 from Kevin Stevens and Ron Francis. And then at 13:54, Ron Francis would get his 27th goal of the year from Jaromir Jagr and Greg Hoggard. That is as close as the Penguins would get on that night. Ken Reggett taking the loss, and he faced 42 shots, making 37 saves. That's good for an .881 save percentage. And at the other end of the rink, Billy Ranford kicked aside 42 of 45 in the win for a .933 save percentage. I was at that game. Let's see if they have the attendance. They do not. Oh, that's too bad. Anyway, what a trip down memory lane. How about that, Benny Thomson? You like that?
It's pretty good. My 90s recollection of Oilers is not very good. A lot of guys in that era fly right over my head. I obviously know Doug Waite and know those guys, but
how do you not remember Brent Grieve?
Yeah.
And Mike Stapleton.
When you said that, I had to look up Mike Stapleton. I'm like, I have no clue who these guys were.
Oh, man, I love it. All right, let's wind things down with RBM says, hey, Tommy, my wife was telling me you said, have a nice day to my kids at ice school class at Rogers earlier today. That's way cool. Thanks, man. Hey, we did, Tony Brar and myself saw ice school passing by. They had a chance to watch us interview the players and head coach Chris Knobloch. And we were just saying hi, asking them what they thought. And there was cool. They take notes, Benny. They all take notes. And then one of them had a printout with like pictures of the coaching staff and was like noting down who they saw walk by, who waved, who didn't wave.
Cute.
That Oilers Ice School, they've had a few different instructors. I don't know the lady who's in charge now, but back when the building first opened, sometimes I'd go in and do like little chats at ice school, and it was a lot of fun. So great to see the kids. RBM, that's cool that your kids were there, and of course, you gotta make everyone welcome when they're there. It's such a cool place to visit. I think we forget that sometimes, having the opportunity to go there on most days. And when the kids are there, it's a treat, and you just want to make it a better experience however way you can. And that's the media saying hello. Then great. We'll do what we can. Benny?
Thanks. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's very cute. Very cute. I like how they take notes.
They do. I love it. It's fantastic. All right, that's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. A huge thank you to Haley Hunter from Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Great information from her. Leo Draisaitl is back. That is great news. A pleasant surprise as he returns to action after a bit of a personal leave. He'll be skating between Podkolzin and Roslovic. McDavid between Nugent-Hopkins and Hyman. Frederick with Howard and Savoy. Lazar between Majapade and Janmark on defense. Echo with Bouchard. Nurse with Everson. Wallman with Stasny. Tristan Jarry starts in goal against his old team. Sid the Kid, Evgeny Malkin, and the Pittsburgh Penguins with Brett Kulak and Stu Skinner on the bench. For Benny and Cass, I'm Tommy saying enjoy the game. We'll see you on the post-game show. Ciao for now.